Okay, very good.
All right. You're good to go, Karen.
Everyone, how you doing today? We've got a few minutes. About one more minute before we get started. You might get a one-on-one today, Della.
Oh, how lucky. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're going to have Pamela Lee from Gravity Title join us at one point in time today. Jump in, just explain what title does. But today is the tenant package and going over the tenant package and everything associated with that. How far are you with the real estate? Are you new or?
Hold on, let me turn my camera on. Nice to meet you. I'm not new to Keller Williams, but I haven't been practicing my real estate. I have another business, and now that business is kind of defunct because of COVID. And so I'm trying to catch up with all the things I missed over the last year and a half. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Your audio.
We're going to catch you up and start you off with some tenant stuff. That's the easiest way to get into the business is working with some tenants, getting your feet wet, learning how to go out and get those deals. They're quick, fast, quick money. Because unlike a rent listing or a sale, you have to wait 45, 60 days. Whereas a rental, you can do in 1 week or 1 day and get paid, within a few days of getting all your paperwork in. So it's an easy way to get your business going while you're learning to do other things, but get some income coming into the house.
Okay.
And Azra, hey Brenda, how are y'all today?
I'm in the car with them. Unmute myself. I'm good. How's everybody?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
At one point in time, we're going to have Pamela jump in, just explain what she does from title. But until then, we'll start with just our tenant package and working along with the tenant. I'm going to show y'all a few things later on too, that when you're working with the tenant, the NTN, how to go on and look at that. We're going to go in showing time because I know everybody have the system, but is everybody familiar with setting up showing time or scheduling an appointment with showing time for your tenant, as well as the Hudson MLS when you go to do a search. So I'm not sure if everybody familiar with how to do a search on MLS. I'll skip that step. Everybody comfortable with that? That's on a call today?
Yes.
Yeah.
MLS search. All right, so let's get started. Office is a little noisy today, but I'll try to speak up. I'm gonna share my screen now. And I think everybody on here know how to create a contact by now from command, correct? Della, what about you? All right. Silence, I'm going to assume is a yes for everybody.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Do everybody know how to create a contact in command?
Yes, for me.
I haven't logged into command yet.
All right, so let's start off like we do every week with creating an actual client. So here we're going to go to your command session and we're going to hit contact. And we're going to add a contact. And you always use Mickey Mouse for my example. This way when I'm doing work, I know it's not a real one. And then their email address. Phone number. Mark it as a lead. Add to my sales pipeline. Now, I created the tenant tag. not always in your list of tags, so you may have to add a tag. In my tags, I do have landlord and tenant because it wasn't there. So you see my landlord is red and my tenant is blue. So you can create a tag if it's not there or the one that you want. And then you simply hit create. And now your contact has been added. Your next step is to go to the opportunity. So now we're going to go to our opportunity. And you're going to hit create opportunity. And today we're working with the tenant side. So we're going to hit tenant. Tenant name, we said was Mickey Mouse. Select Mickey Mouse as the tenant, and then we hit create. And once you create your opportunity, you can begin to do your work. Okay, my computer won't create today. Okay, let's see what I might have missed. So there, I missed the price. So this one we're gonna do at $1,500. Commission, I'm only working on the tenant side. I have to split the commission. So half of 1,500 is $750. Just do my math on a calculator because I don't trust my brain. And then there's always an MLS fee that's generally $100. So out of that $750, I, the tenant agent, have to pay the MLS fee that $100. So my true commission is only $650. Now, if you was representing both sides, then you won't charge yourself the extra $100. It'll just be washed. We're in appointment phase and we're searching and we hit create. Now your screen will look like this. You have details, documents, commission. On my details, there's a little fine pencil that we would click, and then you can make changes on this page. If there was a co-tenant, you would put that there. In this case, Minnie Mouse is not here today, so we're just doing one person. The opportunity name is very important. Sorry. Because it no longer becomes the client name once you find them something and you get ready to generate your documents. It's going to be the property address. So in this case, I'm going to use 70 Rose Avenue, unit number 2R. And that's how Patricia is going to match your check with your opportunity, not by your name or your client, but by the property address that you're dealing with. As we scroll down, we see if there's anything else that we missed. Estimated time frame of rental is generally only a month or less. Closing date, if we starting now, October, we will hope to be finished for November 1st move-in. The appointment is basically when you go show the property. So let's say it's tomorrow. And then, of course, when the agreement was won and the lease was signed, you sign those in once you have all those details. Then you hit save. Now on the other side, it asks for the property. You see this little pencil right here. You can pull it up. We're all working in the United States. And then as you type it in, the property that you're going to be representing, it'll automatically start coming in. You just have to remember to put the unit number in and hit save. Now all our details is pretty much there that we need. Our next step is getting to our documents. So when we go over to our documents, we want to actually start a transaction. And you can use two systems. We have .loop and we have DocuSign. I'm going to use DocuSign. It'll ask you to sign into your DocuSign account. And then you need to add the documents. You have to tell the computer which documents you need. So you go to the forms. And the good thing is we have put everything in groups for you. This way you don't have to go searching. All you have to know that you're working with the tenant. Let's see, buy transaction, property, listing, rental. Okay, my eyes is trying to fail me right now. We got buyer, listing, rental, listing, business, Hudson County, rental listing.
It's the last one.
Okay, y'all blocking me. Let me move you up. Okay, I couldn't see. Thank you very much. So when we get to the documents here, it pulls up mostly everything that you need. You still need to scan through to make sure there's nothing else that you're missing, like the Attorney General memorandum. We don't have to worry about the affiliated business disclosure anymore because we don't have a partnership with those companies anymore. Exclusive tenant agency agreement and your wire. So we're going to add that to our room so that all our documents come up. Now we see all the documents are here, but if we click on them, we're going to notice that they're blank. Well, we don't want the attorney memo. That one always is blank. Let's click on one that has information. The actual lease itself. You see how the document is all blank? That's because we didn't add in any details. So up top, you have details, documents, people, envelopes. We want to add the details in so that on each page that we pulled into our room, all the names will syndicate to each of the documents that we requested without us having to retype and type again and type again. That will all automatically populate to the fields that needs to be matched up. So we're going to begin on our right side by hitting edit. And then the seller information, again, our MLS tax records always is a friend of ours. So let's open up the MLS so we can actually see the tax record. And I just need to sign in. So when you're going on the MLS, you want to look for the owner's information on the tax records, and you can also verify that information with the listing agent that you are using everything from the tax record. Because sometimes the person, maybe two persons on a tax record still, and one of the two might be deceased. So you always want to verify all the names on the tax record you're using for the lease, and let the listing agent tell you yes or no. Search by street, Hudson County, Jersey City. The street name is Arthur Rose. Rose Avenue, we know the number is 70. Rose. And here you have it. The owner is Kawoki. The description is 2-story frame detached 4 units with heat. So you're going to use not only the block and lot off of here, you're going to use the owner's name, and sometimes the land description, the 23.75 by 100 is used, but most of the time from off of here, you just need the lot and the block the owner's name and verify that the property you are doing has 4 units legally, so that you're not doing a basement unit or attic unit that's not really a proper unit. I see Pamela Lee just joined us, so I'm going to stop sharing for a little bit.
Hi, everybody.
So that we can hear from Pamela Lee, who represents us in title, know who she is, put a face, and know what title does for us as part of our business. Go ahead, Pam.
Thanks, Karen. It's so good to see some familiar faces and some new ones. I look forward to meeting you guys in person. So I am Pam Lee from Gravity Title. My job is to help you guys get to the closing table. Once you guys have your offer accepted, inspections done, that's when the attorney usually orders title. And so when you guys go into contract, that's usually when I ask you connect me with your attorney so that I can reach out to them, let them know who I am and how I can, you know, move deals along to the closing table. For those of you who don't know me, I was on a real estate team for 3 years before getting into title, and my main job was to get everyone to the closing table. I was the transaction coordinator. I actually did a lot of different roles, but my main thing was to make sure everything moved along smoothly because, you know, in this busy market right now, there's going to be some need for pushes from here and there. And I am not afraid to get answers from, you know, when other attorneys aren't answering or someone from my office missed an email, which happens a lot. Not a lot, but I'm saying a lag in communication. You guys could just always rely on me to get you an answer for title. So if you don't know what title insurance is, it's when a buyer is getting a home, you need to make sure that title is clear of any liens or defects. Liens and judgments that run with the land. So tax liens, construction liens. So let's say you got something done to the house, didn't pay, those contractors have the right to place a lien on the property. So that's something that comes up. We make sure that they're, you know, the buyer is receiving free, clean title by the time they are closing on the property. And so another thing that this title company does is we act as the settlement agent, and we are the one who we're handling all the funds. So at the closing, the buyer will bring money to the closing table, either certified check or wire, and my company is responsible for getting that money dispersed and everyone paid so that we can close on the property officially. And then that's pretty much it as far as title and settlement 101. If you guys have any questions, I am going to put my phone number and email in the chat so you guys can reach out. I would love to grab coffee with all of you, you know, when outside before it gets too cold. So look forward to getting to know you guys better. So let me just type that in before I forget, and then I will let Karen continue on with teaching you guys, dropping some knowledge.
Do we have any questions for Pam while we have her here? I'm going to bring her on again, and she's going to actually bring attorney panel on for us for short sales. But while we have her one-on-one person, do you have any other questions?
Are you based downtown near the office somewhere, or where are you based?
Everywhere. So my office is, we have an office at the Hoboken Business Center. And then I work out at the Mountain office, which is closer to my house. But pretty much I go everywhere. I have meetings in Bayonne, Hoboken, and Jersey City today, tomorrow, and Friday. So I'm really everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah, and if you guys need recommendations for attorneys to use, we do have a vetted list of who the good attorneys that, you know, work with Gravity Title. And then as you guys build your profit share downline, Using gravity title, actually, the profits go back to the market center, meaning the profitability of the market center is also then higher, and more money gets shared back to the agents. Okay.
Cards here at the office. So when you're doing your buyer consultations, you can always put that business card of Pam in as part of your list of referrals that we do have on site.
Yeah, I also have a flyer that I would like to share with you guys. I'll get it out to the office, but it will be, it's a closing cost sheet. So it breaks down everything that you would need from like buyer attorney fees to title fees, and title insurance premium is always, it's a different equation for how to get there. I can't say, it's 1% of the purchase price. It's not something as clear cut as that. So I'm always here to run title insurance quotes for you too. So I'll share that sheet with everyone. You guys could add it to your buyer consultation packets, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Pam, and I'll see you in a few weeks for my class again, and then I'll see you for the short sale panel that you're putting together.
Great, thank you so
Everybody,
much.
make sure you don't miss that one.
Yeah, you guys, it's going to be a lot of good stuff.
All right, appreciate you, Pam. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right, guys, we're gonna go back to my screen. We left off with the tax records and getting the information that we need off the tax record. And I lost my tax record, so I gotta go find my tax record again. Hudson County, Jersey City, Rose Avenue, Harper Road, number 70. And then what you want to do is download that document into your system as a PDF so that you have it in as part of your room. So you don't have to always go right back and forth to the tax records. It will be here for you. Let's go back to our loop. And we said the owner's name was KWOK. Now, if you don't have the seller information on the tax record, say if it's a PO or something, don't worry about it. If it's the address that is on, in this case, it's the address that's on a unit, and you know he doesn't live there, or she doesn't live there because the apartment was vacant, don't worry about it. Just leave it blank. Either the listing agent will give you the correct address, or just leave it blank for now, and they'll fill it in when they get it on their end. What you do know is your contact information for your tenant that you're representing. The listing agent information, again, you can get the information off the MLS, and you know how to search for that on the MLS. You just type in the address. Everything will come up that's on there, and then you would look for the one that is current. It's 2020. Now you'll see mine is withdrawn because I had to withdraw it, but I'm using this as an example. So we would just take the information of the listing agent, which would be myself, and all my information, when you click my name, will pop up. So therefore you could fill in all my details on the document for the listing part. Now you only have to do this once. Once you do everything once, it automatically carry on to each page, but just take the time out and do it the one time, and it'll save you trouble later on with something that looks blank or incomplete. And if it's only one listing agent, you only need one. So then you can delete the second one if it should pop up, automatically pop up. You just need the one person if it's just the one person. Sometimes people work in partnerships, so it's two. Then your buyer information will go there. Now, sometimes this part work where you can go to your address book and search for it. And sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't all the time. So then you would just have to manually put in your buyer information. Buyer is tenant when you're done with the paperwork. Even though it says buyer, it's for the tenant. So don't get confused because you'll never see tenant. And then you make sure all the information is there on your end for your tenant. And then for the agent, which is yourself who represents the tenant, then you will put all your information in as the one working for the tenant. In this case, it will say buyer, but buyer again, meaning tenant. Because we don't have the computer where it says tenant agent. It's always going to say the buyer agent. I'm not going to fill in everything for the sake of time. But I want you just to see.
And Karen, for the buyer, you put their address or the property address that they're renting.
You put their address if you know it. If you don't know it, don't go crazy that you don't have their current address.
Okay.
But you would put their current address.
Okay.
County, city, state, all that information. And again, if it's two tenants, you would put both their information. And then you would hit save for that part. Now we didn't finish because we have to edit the left side. That was the right side of the transaction. So now we're going to go up and you see there's information on the left side. So we want to go in and fill out as much as we can. Don't stress it if it's not all there because some of it does not apply. Fill out what does apply. If you have the MLS number, where you got the lead from, if it was a personal referral, the address of the property, city and state, counties, Hudson County, United States, New Jersey, zip code. And again, a lot of this stuff could be found on the tax record that we already pulled up. Type of property, it's a rental, or you could put it's attached, detached, residential. In this case, it's a rental. We're just going to put the rental. Offer details. If we don't know everything, don't worry about it. Don't stress out over that. It's not a highest and best bid. Most of the time, that's if you're dealing with the sale, not a rental. Your closing details, don't worry about that because there's no deed transfer or anything like that. Additional information, sales concession, any of that does not matter. The only thing over here that will come across would be your commission, which would be 0.5. Tax amount, you can put the property taxes because we did pull a tax record. So, you know, you have that information. 2019 estimated taxes 5507. You can put the lot size. We have that information, 23.75 by 100. Square footage, we really don't do the square footage and rental, so don't sweat it. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. You know it's a 2-bedroom, you know it's 2 bathrooms, you know total it's 4 rooms. You don't have to count the bathroom. You count the 2 bedrooms, the living room, and the dining room, or kitchen, living room, and the bedroom. The bathrooms is not included when you do room total. There's no garage, so that would be 0. Once you have all that information, you hit save again. And now all your information will carry on to each of the pages that we have in documents. So when we go to fill in the document now, compared to before, you see the difference. You see how the computer carried everything over. So now we're going to go through each document one by one of what we need and how to fill it out so that you're ready to show your tenants when that time arrives. So your Attorney General memorandum, you pretty much explain to them that, you know, you're there to service them. There's no discrimination on your part. You're there to process their application and submit it to the owner. They can read that on their own. It's just a disclosure, so there's no signature on that one. And everybody should at least read the documents once. This way you know what you're telling your clients, and if they have questions, you're able to answer it. Consumer information statement, in this case, will be a tenant agent. Remember, tenant, buyer, same difference when we're looking at the documents. You're representing the tenant as a buyer's agent, aka tenant agent. And then you see down here where it says seller, landlord, buyer, tenant. So it has it there, but it doesn't have it up top in the description up here. So right now you pretty much are a buyer agent, and if it's a Keller Williams property, Keller Williams JC City Life property, will automatically become a disclosed dual agent. That basically means if me and Nazra is working on the same transaction, we automatically are disclosed dual agents because we're in the same office and it's the same transaction. You want to make sure you put your name here, right there where you see Karen Sims. I've gotten my paperwork kicked back from compliance for not having my name in that one little spot. So make sure you always put your name there. And then in this case, again, you're a buyer agent, aka tenant agent, and a disclosed dual agent if the opportunity arrives. That means if you show KW property, you're automatically a disclosed dual agent. Everybody understood that one? All right, our next document is the lead-based paint hazardous lease. Now you'll see that this one will have the information in it, but it's blank. So you don't want your client to sign a blank lead because the seller has not given any representation whether there is lead or there are any documents. So you're going to go back to the MLS. You're going to go back to that property. You're going to look up D. You see here, you got M for the map, D for documents, T for taxes. You're going to click on the T and you're going to print this one, download it, and this is the one that you're going to bring into your MLS, into your documents, I'm sorry. And while I'm here, I might as well get my COVID because it's, it's a disclosure that the seller already signed. Again, not a blank document. Download that one. And we're going to save that. And now we're going back to our documents. So we're not going to sign the one that's blank. We're going to add from our computer the one that we just downloaded. I'm just going to add all these documents now that I'm here. So they become part of my main room now. And those are the ones that I'm gonna have my client sign. So again, lead disclosure, the seller has said they have no knowledge, they have no reports. They sign it, the listing agent has signed it. Now my buyer can sign that they received the information on line 3, which is this part, that they have the pamphlet, which is in the documents we can send them, and they have their agent that has signed it, and they sign it as the leasing. And then again with the COVID, it was on the 24th that the seller signed it with their statement, and now your buyer will sign as a tenant their part of the statement for the COVID disclosure. So don't have them sign what's coming from the computer. Make sure you go get the one that's signed by the landlord. So we just did these two, the lead and the COVID. So now this is the lease application. Lease application is for the actual tenant. This is what you want them to fill out to submit to you so that you can review it, make sure their income matches everything, and submit it to the landlord. This is the tenant application. The one that you want to fill out for them, if they are accepted based on the application, is the actual residential lease. So they fill out the application, you fill out, if it's approved, you fill out the residential lease.
And I have a question.
Yes.
When you showed before the coronavirus, was it the addendum or the release form? Because they're two distinct forms.
It's the release form.
That's the one that's in the documents in the MLS, right?
Yeah, that's the one that's in the MLS, the release form.
Okay. So do they have to also do an addendum?
The whole harmless, I'm sorry, the whole harmless form is in the MLS, not the release.
Yeah, the whole harmless release something, whatever.
Okay.
So not the addendum, correct?
Not the addendum that give them 30 days to cancel. That's another, it's two different COVIDs.
Yes, I know, but you talked about the release form. And
Correct.
then also we addendum we have to do? Or no? Because that's in the list of documents. If you go back to DocuSign where you see the list,
Hold on a minute, let me close this.
see on the top, the fourth document, that one, the fourth one from the top is, it's NJR addendum regarding coronavirus.
Okay, so that's the addendum. So the addendum gives them 25 days or 30 days to cancel this contract, or in this case, this lease, if they should get coronavirus, and there's nothing that the seller can do for them. So that's
Okay, and this one has to be completed by them and sent with the contract, right?
This one will be completed, providing that they are accepted.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes, providing they are accepted, this one will be completed.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So the lease application, they sign the lease, the residential lease itself, we complete. Now, if you're the listing agent, then the one bringing the tenant is the one that's going to complete the lease. You already completed your documents because you did the listing part. So if you got both sides of the transaction, of course, you're doing the lease and the listing. But if someone else, if Nazra, if you brought the tenant, then you're going to do the actual lease itself, not me. I'm just the listing agent. I did my part for the seller. Now, sometimes the seller may have their own lease and don't want to use our lease, and that's fine as well. Provided to us, we get the signatures.
Karen, I have a question about that. What if the landlord wants to put like something in particular on the lease? Do we
Can't
put it
do
like
that.
he wants to increase the rent? He wants to increase the rent after the first year for 50
You
hours.
can put that in additional contract, additional lease, uh,
Okay.
lease provisions, if any, other lease provisions. It's a
So
contract.
we should talk to the landlord and find out what he wants in the lease before we do this?
Well, you can always give the landlord, when you do the listing, a copy of our lease and show them so that they're not surprised when our lease come up. Here's a copy of the lease. They already know in advance. So you can print a blank lease and give them a copy and show them this is how the lease will look. This way, if they want to make any changes, you know what changes to advertise ahead of time. That will be part of that lease. Like in this case, I believe and let me just make sure I advertised it right, but for 70 Rose, he doesn't do the garbage can. Generally, if you know ahead
Karen,
of time, you disclose ahead of time. Okay, so no microwave. That was it. Sanitary appliances, no microwave. So
Karen,
that,
also too, because I remember that particular landlord I worked with you before, because he's not on site, like you mentioned, the garbage cans, he doesn't do any snow removal or anything of that nature. So he put it in the lease so that the tenants know that they are responsible for removing the snow. So let's just say if somebody were to slip and fall, they can't come after him because he put it in the lease saying that each tenant is responsible for their own snow removal.
so to answer that question, you can alter the contract or the lease, but you should disclose ahead of time exactly what the tenant is, the landlord intends not to do or to do. So if you know it, tell it in advance so that it becomes part of the lease, so it's not surprises at the end of time. Because sometimes there are surprises, and that upsets the tenants. And it's nothing that me and you may have done, but now the landlord is making these changes, and it falls on you, the agent, to be the bearer of bad news. So they're gonna automatically look at you as one, or why you didn't tell me? The landlord just told me.
Right.
Okay.
That does happen a lot. So try to get as much information from the landlord upfront so that you know you can disclose that in the MLS, and then it becomes the responsibility of the showing agent to relay that information to that tenant. So you have to put it there, Nazra. So talk to your landlord and see if there's anything that they want in particular, so that you can adjust your MLS accordingly.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's go over the lease itself. Again, it brought over the landlord's information, where they live. Mickey, we didn't put in where he lived. The property itself, it's not a condo, it's not a townhome. Put the full address in, Jersey City. New Jersey is already there. We're going to have them initial on the tenant side for that page. Terms of the lease is generally 1 year or 12 months. The starting date will be November 1st this year, and will end actually the last day of the last month prior. So this one will actually end October 31st, 2021. So the whole year does not fall back on November 1st of next year. It falls back the day before November 1st, 2021. Term of the lease amount.
Karen, I have a question about the term. When you say it's 1 year, is it like 12 months in addition to the year, or I think it refers to 1 year and 6 months maybe, no? Or no?
No, it's just 1 year or 12 months.
Oh, so it's just the equivalent in months. Okay.
That the full amount of the lease and I'm going to use the calculator, would be 1,500 times 12. So that would be 18 paid per month, 1,500, and made payable to the landlord unless they have an LLC. And then you would put their mailing address. That might not be right. I'm just putting numbers there. Initial deposit. Tenant has paid an initial deposit if generally it's 1.5 months. So 15 divided by 2 is 750 plus 1,500 is 2,250. And when did they receive that? So if you're doing it as of today, then you would put today's date. If you're doing it for tomorrow, whichever day you're collecting the money, you would put that date. And then credit it toward the first month rent. Generally, if you're doing it for the first of the month, it's going to be the 1,500. And or the security deposit, we already put the security deposit, so we leave that one blank. And the first month rent again is the 1,500, and that is due again if you collecting today, whichever day you collecting. So everything is pretty much, it look like it's repeated because it is. But wherever it says security, you put security. Wherever it says rent, you put the rent. And the due date is the date that you collecting it.
Can they give you a check, or it has to be cash or a money order or a bank?
So if they moving in, say the 15th, and today's the 7th, and by the time you get it, and say the landlord is in Texas, you wouldn't want to collect a check because by the time that check get to them, it's not going to clear, and they're going to be done moved in already, and that check wouldn't have had time to clear that account, and now they're in an apartment with no money down. So you would want to collect money orders or a certified bank check. Now, if they moving in November 1st, in this case, and the seller is okay with accepting a check, then you can do a personal check. But if it's a very little small time frame between them moving in and you getting that money to the landlord, I always say the first one should be a money order or certified check. And then from there, they can make arrangements whether they're going to do it by check, electronic funds, or cash, how they want with the landlord for there from that point on. But for our purposes, I really like collecting money orders or certified check the first time around, and then they can do personal check after that, especially depending on the time frame of them moving in, where my seller is, and how long it's going to take for that check to mature. And for Keller Williams, we never take any personal checks, cash, money orders, or certified checks. Everybody okay with that?
I have a question. So regarding that paragraph there, if you can go back. Where you put the numbers in.
Mhm.
So initial deposit. So tenant has paid an initial deposit. That's the 1.5 months, right? Received on today. That will be credited toward 1,500 the first month's rent. So does it mean that 1,500 is in addition to the 22 or part of that 22?
No, it's in addition, because the security is different than the
First
this
month,
number.
right?
This number could be 2,250 plus the 1,500. It all depends on how much you collect in that day.
Okay, so practically they have to give you 2,250 for the deposit and another check, or maybe
1,500.
one check for the 1,500?
Well, the security is supposed to be in a separate account.
Separate, so it's better to have two
It
checks,
should
right?
be separate, but some owners do take the whole check and then they split it up. But your security with your W-9 should be a different check so that they can open up that account with just that money. But a lot of times tenants don't listen, and because it costs money, they only want to do the one check. It's going to the same landlord, so now the landlord got to do the extra work.
Because it's not clear to me then where it says then that will be credited 1,500 to the first month, or, and then there's an empty box there, the security deposit. Shouldn't that 22 be the security deposit?
There you go. You can put that to 3750, which is the total of 15 and 30.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, that looks better. Okay, okay. Thank you.
And then again, your security deposit spelled out again is the 2250. Late payment is the 6th. You got really up to the 5th. After the 5th, the 6th, you begin your late payments. Some landlords only charge $35. Some charge $50. I've had landlords that charge $100. I think what's fair would be $50. The same with the bounce check. The bank generally only charges $35, but most landlords want $50. This way it prevents the tenant from trying to bounce checks. Utilities, again, you have to know based on what the landlord said or the MLS, what utilities may or may not be included, what the tenant is responsible for versus what the landlord. In this case, for this property, the tenant is responsible for the gas and the electric, the heat, and the trash disposal. He's responsible for the sewer and the water. The whole lease, again, you should read a whole lease to see what a whole lease entitles, because if there's questions, you want to be able to answer them for your tenant. So this is the renewal of the lease. It's 60 days that the landlord is going to give, and the tenant has to respond back 30 days. So come October of next year, we know it's going to expire. That means the landlord has to give notice to the tenant 2 months prior. So 2 months prior to October 31st would be August 31st, right? October. So by August 31st, the landlord needs to be sending a notice to the tenant that what are they doing? The rent increase is going to be $1,600. Are you going to renew your lease for November 1st? You have 30 days to respond back to my increase to your lease, or you can move. Again, who's paying the broker fee? Is it being split? Is the landlord paying it? In this case, half the landlord, half the tenant.
Karen, if the tenant doesn't respond to it or give a 30-day notice, but decides to stay on a month-to-month basis, does that lease still is in effect, or would a new lease need to be established, or it's between the landlord and the tenant? And
so once any tenant and landlord do not renew their lease, it automatically reverts to month. So that means the landlord only got to give you 30 days, and you only have to give the landlord 30 days.
Okay, thank you.
Again, who's the check to be made payable to? Who's the listing broker? Their information. The participating broker would be yourself. In this case, myself would be KW. If you're disclosure agent, both will be KW. Declaration of the business license, again, KW, Karen. In this case, I'll be a disclosure agent. Information was supplied by me, so I will put myself again, if it was KW. And again, disclosure agent.
So should we just do disclose dual agent by default?
No, only if you're working with a KW agent or if it's your own property. So if it's your own property and you representing both parties, then yeah, you by default you already disclosed the agent. But if you're working for a tenant and it was Caldwell Banker who brought the listing, who represented the seller or the landlord, then you would be just a tenant agent in this case.
Okay.
It's spelled out as just tenant agent.
Literally only finding grenade crates on the ground.
Other lease provisions, like we said, we know snow removal is on the tenant. Garbage and removal is on the tenant. Backyard use is on the tenant to clean and maintain. Hallways shared with all four tenants to keep clean. So whatever contractual provisions that the landlord stipulates, that's where you can add those different things in. And it's a long list, so if you have a lot of stuff, don't worry, put it all there. Tenant got to sign it to agree. Landlord got to sign it to agree. And then you're going to hit save and close. Go
Karen,
ahead.
oh, sorry. Quick question. Is there anything standard about pets or pet deposits, or that's just per property, per landlord?
Per property, per landlord, and we can't do pet deposits. You can do a pet fee, but you can't do a pet deposit. Standard pet fee is generally like $250 if you look at some of the other buildings. But again, some landlords are okay with pets and don't have any deposits that's required. So you're gonna have to have that conversation with the landlord to see what they, what they require and what their choices is with pets. They live on a house, they might be allergic to pets, so they may say no pets.
And can you, I didn't know this deposit versus fee, so that's good to know. And is there anything, can you say like a pet under 40 pounds is okay? Like you want a little one, you don't want some huge German Shepherd or something? Okay, all right.
Definitely you can. All right, go ahead.
I have a question. So this one form 125, because I checked on my previous documents and I didn't have this one, so I just added it now. But it wouldn't be used now, right? It would be used once there's like a tenant.
Once a tenant, so you on your listing, you wouldn't have it. But once you find the tenant for your listing, you will create a new
room,
loop, a new room, and then you will add this into that one.
Okay, I guess this will just be the practice one then. And then is there a way to like, because I realized there's some stuff I had to like edit out, but like since the document's already signed, is the only way to do it just to archive it and then re-sign a new one?
Well, remember, this is for tenant only, not for landlord.
Right.
So I'm not exactly sure what you would be editing out because you don't have a tenant yet.
I meant, actually, yeah, it's because it's not off topic, so I see what you mean. That's a different question then.
Call me after the class, we'll go over it.
No problem, thank you.
Exclusive tenant agency agreement, again, you represent that tenant. Mickey Mouse, your brokerage firm, municipalities, Bayonne, Jersey City, North Bergen, wherever you're taking that tenant to, those are the counties that you're gonna put in, the cities you're gonna put in. Does that tenant have a business relationship with any other broker? Your tenants, they just pretty much what they see, they wanna go and look at. So you wanna let them know that you will work for them, you'll be there for them 100%. You'll show them whatever you want, but again, they have to give you their word that they're gonna work with you only as their agent and not with another broker. So that you're not running around with tenants and then they go find something the next day with somebody else. So just like we use a buyer exclusive agency agreement, we try to get the tenants to understand the importance of using a tenant exclusive tenant agency agreement so that we're not wasting our time. Again,
So
Karen.
what are the repercussions if a tenant signs the form and goes ahead and does it anyway?
There's none. It's very hard to sue a tenant like it is. It's even harder to sue a buyer. That you sign an exclusive buyer agency agreement, you spend time with them, and if it's not the same property that you have shown, and they go find something totally different that you didn't show, it's very hard to sue them, to try to force them to pay you a commission. It's pretty much hard.
Okay.
Yes, Amar?
So this Form 126, let's say that I did have like a person that wanted to this would be in its own separate room, right? Like I wouldn't put this in a room with Form 125, like this unless there's another form that would go with exclusive agency for a tenant. Would this would be in its own room?
You can start off this, like if you're just starting off with the client, y'all haven't even gone out, you can do the EIS, this, and the COVID disclosure, because you should be doing your COVID before you show a property.
Right.
They should be knowing which agency they working with you as. And then, yes, this exclusive buyer agency, you can put these three in to start their file off, to start their room off with these three forms. This way, you know, you kind of have their word that they're going to use you, but tenants are fickle too.
True. So if let's say I had a listing and then also I found a tenant, so that's already two separate rooms and then the one room where the residential lease would go. So an ideal situation, you should have 3 rooms for one transaction.
2 rooms for one transaction.
2. So would
You
this
have the
go in
list
the
side and you have the buy side, or the
okay?
landlord side and the tenant side. So this will
So
go on the tenant side.
Okay, where would the okay, so the residential lease part, that one, the Form 125, that goes in the same room as the tenant one.
Correct. But the actual lease application has to get sent to both the listing agent and yourself. So you have to unfortunately upload it into your documents for your landlord as well as your documents for your tenant, because both rooms have to be complete with documents. So the whatever you put in here, pretty much you're putting in your landlord to make that landlord complete with their documents.
Okay.
For compliance.
So would they be signing it twice then?
No, the tenant is only going to sign this. This is not a signature for a landlord.
Okay.
This is only going to stay in the tenant side.
All right, thank you.
Your lease application will go on both sides. Your lease itself will go on both sides. Because if I look at your loop just for your seller, I want to see when it closed out that you had your lease in there and you had the lease application. And if I look at your loop for your tenant, I want to see that your lease application and your lease was in that one. So it's 2 separate transactions. So that's why they have to go on both sides.
All right, thank you.
Brokerage fees. Oh, wait a minute. Again, we'll be disclosed to an agent or a tenant agent.
Sorry, Karen, I have a question
Mm-hmm.
related to what you just said. So does it have to be in the room or has to be in the compliance part in the command?
Well, you could save it on your desktop and just put it into your compliance, or you could put it in your room and save it from your room from documents. Either which way, it has to be on your computer to get in compliance.
So it's really that you need it in, sorry, go ahead.
Whether you're putting it in through the room and saving it, like I saved the tax records and everything in my room, or whether you're just saving it on your hard drive, it all have to get into your compliance part of command.
So it has to be in the 2 sides transactions in command, and in room it's like you can have it in one room. It doesn't matter really. It doesn't have to be in both rooms. It has to be in the compliance in command in both.
Have to be in both, exactly. Both have to be in compliance.
Okay, thanks.
So the commencement shall sell today. It will expire the 7th. And generally I do 3 months out. I already realized we get into the end of the year. So this is actually going to go into January 2021. Again, that can be as far as you want it. If I haven't found you something in 3 months, I'm not doing a good job. You probably don't want me. So 3 months, we can reevaluate and re-sign this agreement. Tenant agency and brokerage fee, the tenant agrees to pay 1 month. And this agreement is canceled 30 days after January 2021. You're the tenant, and the tenant will sign. You're the tenant agent, and the tenant will sign. All right, informed consent to dual agent. Just like the seller has to give us permission to represent them, the tenant also has to give us permission to represent them in the same transaction. Karen, our firm name, the tenant name, our brokerage name, our brokerage address. And we save that document. Next one, the hold harmless. Again, we did the hold harmless because we did the one from off the MLS, hold harmless. That was already filled out versus the one that the computer brought in that is blank. Same with the lead, and then we save the tax record. So part of what I also add in my room when I'm working with the tenant, because we have finished the documents that are needed, I add any details from that tenant as far as their ID, their credit report, and everything else. I have one email. Hold on. I just want to show you a sample email of how I go about writing up one. So that I'm sending the same email to all my tenants, because you'll start getting a lot of leads when you get the listing. So I compound the email, and it pretty much say, it would be to your advantage to collect the final items and complete the NTN link and application form as soon as possible, so that once you preview, you are ready to go if you like it. COVID-19 release also attached. Please complete. Please email complete application attached with ID, credit report, income taxes, letter of employment, and pay stub to my email or my eFax as soon as possible. Please make sure all documents are clear and legible. Please click the blue link below for your NTN report. All adults must complete. Text my number with your name once you have completed the online part of the paid. Once you have completed the online part and paid the $40 per adult. Multiple adults, I need all documentation for each person. Children in college, please provide their high school, college transcript if they are over 18 and in school. Otherwise, same information above is required. A letter about yourself or your family will help the landlord understand who you are. Your income should be 40 times the rent of $1,400, or at least close to $56,000. 1.5 month security deposit, $2,100. 1 month rent, $1,400. Half month broker fee, $700. For a total of $4,200 and $40 per adult for the NTN report. Heat and hot water included. So whatever that listing is, I'm compiling it into one email, and I'm sending this one email multiple times to different tenants that call me, email me, text me that's interested in the party. I also attached the NTN link, a virtual tour, and again, a virtual tour that was done with my phone, nothing professional. Walk through the house, explain what it is, create a link, put it on there, and then the MLS property details from the actual MLS itself. So that I'm not answering the same questions over and over and over again for tenants. I take the time, compile it once, and once it's there, it's there. I just forward the email. Another thing that I do.
Can I have a question? So you kind of recommend them to complete the NTN before they actually see the property?
If it's a hot property that's $1,400, absolutely, because it's a cheap price point.
Okay.
And those who are serious don't have a problem with forking up all the information that I request.
Okay.
If it's a higher price point, it gets a little bit more difficult because they want to see before it. I don't mandate that they do it. I said it would be, what did I say? It would be to their advantage. It's not necessary, but it will be to their advantage because the first person who have the complete application that the landlord qualifies is the one that's going to get it. So you might see it, but if your stuff is not completed and someone else see it at the same time, but their stuff was completed, oh well, it's not my problem. I gave everybody the same advantage.
Okay, thanks.
One other thing is after today's training, I will send some documents, which online we have a rental transaction thing. You know, what I just did, it just breaks it down to what you actually need. Also, it has a checklist of what you need. And we have the standard lease application with all the documents that we just discussed. Sorry, somehow I put the lease application here twice, so just ignore that it's in there twice. But pretty much everything else is not duplicated. I'll send that to John Carlos. One last thing is we have the NTN, which is 2 different links. The link that you as the agent get is different than the link that I just shared with you on the email to the tenant. The link that we get takes us to the system where we can sign in. Just gotta remember my password. It will ask you to send a text or email so you can get authentication code. It will give you that code. You type that code in. And then you're going to go to resources, NTN screen applicant. Now our system puts everybody from our office into one system. So you actually have to look for your client name. Or look for the address that you're dealing with. But it puts everything in there, so it makes it kind of hard. To find your person. All right, so you see 70 Rose Street, Jersey City, applicant is complete. Once the applicant is complete, you can hit screen applicant. zip code 07305. Oh, county. You want to keep these two checked, which is going to check for criminal. You don't want to remove it. And then you want to click yes and order the report. Now they paid the 40 on their side. Sometimes it takes a little minute for the report to come through. You'll get an email once the report is completed. Sometimes it's quick. No records found. You can view the report. Sometimes it will say preliminary. And this, no records found on this subject. So he has no credit. He has no criminal history. He has no, you're looking for evictions. So you're looking for evictions and criminal history. There's none of that on here. Again, you can download that so that it becomes part of your file. So you do NTN, Vermont, 70 rows, 2R. And you can save it as part of your documents so that now it's in your room. And when you get ready,
Karen,
yes.
one thing as a tip that I have encountered with the NTM, especially if there's like a couple or a co-applicant, that they should do it together as an applicant, not a co-applicant, because you run into problems when you go to pull the report. The applicant will be complete and the co-applicant will not be complete, and so you have to resend it so that they can, you know, process it again. So that may be something that put in the instructions, or I don't know if NTN can make it clearer. But I know when they, as a couple, a husband and wife, they're gonna do it as one application and pay the $40 each. But then when the NTN comes back, it usually comes back as one instead of two.
So we did have a seminar on the NTN where she did explain that, so everybody can refer back to the intranet and look up that. The video is a whole hour and 30 minutes, but she's just on like the first 20 minutes. So, you know, look at that, refresh that NTN with Elizabeth so that you'll get that information that Yolanda was just talking about. But NTN did come on and explain that. And you can refer back to the intranet for that. Okay, so now this is your next one. When you're doing command, you want to make sure that all your documents line up with what you need to put in. So if the consumer information statement, I skipped a spot. Let me go back. In order to get your document signed, you have to go to your next step. So you're going to select everything that you need signed, deselect what you don't need signed, which is the one that they brought in for whole harmless, as well as the lead that was brought in from the MLS. We don't need that one signed. We don't need the actual lease signed yet because the lease application we don't need signed. The lease we would need signed. Looking for the lead up top that we did not need signed. So we deselected everything and we need the pencil so that we can get all our documents signed. So once you complete all the documents and you're ready for the tenant to actually sign them, this is the process to send it so that they sign all the documents and you can send them out to get signatures. You go add the participants to the room. You can pre-tag your room. So in this case, buyer 1 is the tenant. In this case, it was Mickey Mouse. We didn't have a buyer 2, nor did we have a seller 2. We're not worried about the landlord signatures right now because we're only dealing with the tenant. Oh, in this case, look, it has the tenant. Again, Mickey Mouse. And then I'm the buyer agent or the tenant agent, so it'll be myself. And again, if you're representing both the buyer and seller, then you can do the documents at the same time. In this case, we're just going to stick to the tenant. Add. You can write a message down at the bottom before you send it. Please review the documents. Fine, and if you have any questions, please feel free to call me. And now we can go up and hit next. It's going to compile all my documents into one. And for those rows that were pre-selected, it's going to automatically put the tenant or the buyer where it's supposed to be. And then I'm just scanning through to make sure it put it in the right places. So you see, tenant name, Mickey Mouse is yellow, Karen is blue. Buyer, which in this case is tenant, remember. And then on each line, it has the initials for the tenant to sign. Again, one came up as blue for Mickey Mouse, one came up as tenant. So one I use as buyer, one I use as tenant, but it's still all the same person, Mickey Mouse. The pre-tag helps you maneuver through your documents quicker without you dropping and pasting, picking up. Now it's not going to do it for all the documents. It's not going to, it didn't put me over here as a witness. So I have to put myself over as a witness. You just want to make sure that you're going through each document and that, you know, the signatures are there. Now, it didn't do this one because this was a document that I put in. So I have to manually make sure I put it in. And the same with the COVID. Should have did the same with the lead. Initials on the side that they received the information above. They received the pamphlet. They're signing and dating. And then again, me as the agent, making sure I sign it and I date it. Tax record, NTN, and then you will hit send. Now mine is going to come up with an error because I didn't put Mickey Mouse right email address in there. But for myself, it went through. Should have gone through. Didn't go through. It wants me to correct the wrong email address. It's fine. I'm just gonna go back in the opportunity itself, which is down here, the lease, active, 70 rows. Mickey Mouse, documents, envelope. I didn't put Mickey Mouse email address at all. So I'm just gonna put all my email address, but it just changed his name. I'm just changing the email address so that you can see. Now sending, it'll give you a hot second to sign. Second is gone. So now you can sign. When you hit continue, you hit start, it'll bring you everywhere that you need to sign. It'll give you samples of which ones you want to use. That was a handwritten one, that's a handwritten one, this is a computer generated one. And then you sign your life away, the tenant sign their life away, and then your documents, once complete, I'll show you how they come up. So that when you go to command, you'll be able to match your documents up. Still waiting for others. So that was the first one, now I have to do the second one. And if you can't sign it from there, which you generally should be able to, just go to your email. And your email generally will have all the documents for you to sign. Now, all right, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to get no more new signatures. But in any case, let me just go to the actual document. Just to show you on the consumer information statement, let's pull up your document. If they were all signed, they're going to come in this box. And then you're just going to select from here, from your documents, consumer information statement, and add to your loop. And now this part of your loop is complete. And you're going to do that for each transaction you do. Make sure everything is signed. In this case, I did not make sure everything was signed, but you are going to make sure that all your documents have been signed before you assign it, because once compliance review it, if there's something wrong, there will be a red button here where the compliance tell you it's been approved or not approved. And again, any information, supporting documents like your NTN or your pre-approved, not your pre-approved, your ID, anything like that, you can upload under supporting documents. That pretty much concludes our class. Any questions?
Hey, Karen, is one preferred over the other, DocuSign or dot loop?
Yeah, like the last
I like DocuSign, but honestly, when I'm doing tenants, it seems like it's easier for them to autofill their part of the lease electronically through dot loop as opposed to DocuSign. But it might be me just needing to play around more with DocuSign, with the tenant enable, with them able to fill in the documents themselves.
Okay, what's better for the office? It does,
Doesn't matter for us.
okay.
It's the same documents. It's just a matter which system you putting it in. Is a personal preference pretty much for y'all, not for us. Any other questions, anyone?
Yes, Karen. Which are the 3 documents you said again that you bring to us showing to show tenants in apartment? It's the CIS, the COVID. Which COVID? Which COVID?
The hold harmless, that they're not going to sue you or me should they come in contact with COVID. So this one up here, hold harmless and release.
Hold on. Okay, and so that's the CIS, the hold harmless, and what is the third one? I knew there were 3.
Tenant agency agreement.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Karen, you mentioned that you don't have to include the affiliated business forms for the tenant, but you need that for the landlord. Is that right?
Well, no, not even for, we're not doing affiliated business disclosure anymore because we don't have partnerships with Gravity, well, not Gravity Type. We don't have partnership with Loan Depot,
no more.
or the insurance company or the other mortgage company. So
we
the
don't-
only thing we worry about is Gravity Title. But in this case, title is not requirement for tenants, so we don't have to worry about that. It's not a requirement for the landlord, so we don't have to worry about that.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Everybody else gonna go out and get some rentals today, renters to work with? Y'all comfortable? Y'all can go make money? I'm gonna give you a little help. I have 2 listings. 115 Highland Avenue, advertised this week on your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram. The landlord will pay half the broker fee. And I have 134 Hutton Street. The landlord will pay the full broker fee. Who's gonna bring me a tenant for Monday? Go to work.
Thank you, Karen.
Welcome. Ahmad, you okay?
Yeah, I have some questions, but I think they're kind of specific to this situation.
This one, not to this.
No, oh yeah, about this, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, one was about the documents, so on like DocuSign. So like, let's say I had sent something to the landlord, and they decided to change their mind on it. So I would have to send, like I would have to redo it, right? Since they already signed it. So is the best way to do that to just archive it and then just make a new one for them to sign?
No, if you go back to your documents, the original document is going to be there. Let me just go into a landlord one for you. So we're talking about leases, right?
Yeah.
Remember, you have a tenant side and you have a landlord side. So let's go into 131 Kensington. Go into your documents. Go to your transaction. I'm sorry, that was 131 Kensington, y'all. That's vacant and ready to go. I want to pay half the broker fee. But 115 Highland is, if you want to do an open house, that's available for open house. So either which way, you're gonna make some money. Chris has some open houses as well. So go to work. So which document is that the landlord wants to change your mind?
Well, I'm not sure. Let me see. Well, I already did it. I just wanted to see if there was a better way to do it because I had to do it for multiple ones and it just took a little longer. So I was just trying to see if there was a more efficient way to do it. But if that's the only way, that makes sense.
You see how the exclusive right to rent or sell lease is signed?
Yeah.
And then you have the original, the one with the blue?
Yeah.
Go back and change the one with the blue and just have them sign a new one.
Yeah, but do I get rid of the last one?
No, it's just going to stay there. You can get rid of the last one so you don't get confused.
Okay, all right.
It's your room. We don't bother with this room. Whatever you put into your command, that's the
That's
final
what
one.
matters.
That's the one that matter. So
Okay,
you can
thank you.
have, this is like your paper folder with your napkins and all your notes on every little piece of paper. That's your folder. It's just an electronic folder called the room. So you can dump anything in the room. It's just what you put in your compliance part that we worry about.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions in relation to this? Everything we went over?
So if I had a question, I'm losing it. So if you whatever you put into that room, it can just stay there if the deal doesn't go through.
Correct. And say if you have a deal, let's go back to Mickey Mouse himself. He's not a real deal. So we'll just go back to that appointment. We see his Mickey Mouse. When you click on it, you see this little corner over here. It says Lord's Opportunity.
Yes.
It's going to go to green. Hit save. And this will not come up on my opportunities again. So let me go back, let the computer refresh, go back to my listings, and now you don't see Mickey Mouse no more.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
If I want to get him back though, without having to worry about doing everything else, I can get him back, go back to my opportunities, go back to all the opportunities, and then you see where I have them. That's, let me see, all discussions, all opportunities should be able to find them. Wrong Mickey Mouse. I should be able to get them back. I thought you can get them back. Maybe you can't get them back. It might just be better for refreshing. Might refresh a little bit for me to be able to get them back. But you should be able to get it back. It might take a little bit for command to refresh itself and catch up, but you should be able to get that opportunity back once you lose it. Anything else?
That's it.
So I was able to see title today. We were able to see how to do an NTN and pull that report. Showing time. That's one last thing I wanted to show y'all. Because as you get in listings, and even if you don't get the listing, everybody should have gotten a sign-on from Jasmine when you came in with your password. You can schedule your appointment for your tenants through here. So showings, make a new request, find a property. That's the property came up. This is Hutton Street. I'm going to, okay, first it's telling me it's not. I need to do something first. When you get a listing, you have to put instructions in. So 134 Hutton Street is going to be a go and show. As the listing agent, you would have to do this. In this case, I'm the listing agent for this property. I don't want to text. I only want to email when somebody is showing. It's vacant, so 0 hours, they can go. It's a rental. They really don't need to be in there 30 minutes, but if they schedule multiple appointments, I give them an hour to stick around. Access is going to be a combination lockbox. combination code. I will change this tomorrow when I go to the property because I put it on Saturday and I forgot already which code I use. Top of the stairs. Right side. Instructions for the person showing. Please lock up. Yes, you got to tell agents to lock up. Turn off the lights. Scramble the lockbox code.
Hey, Karen, the last orientation I was at on, they said that you guys weren't doing combination locks anymore. It's the
The
e-locks.
Supra, yeah.
Well, enough, you risk a $250 fine, so I need to switch that to a Supra. Because if I get caught, that's my $250 fine I have to pay. So don't do what I just did.
All right, so you're just doing it for showing, just for example.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Once you save this, go ahead.
So like, how would I do showing time if I don't, like, I have an e-key if I were to unlock it, but I don't have the actual Supra lockbox.
You have to purchase a Supra from the office. It's $110. We will bill you your next statement.
Okay.
And that'd be your Supra. It's yours forever. We don't ask for it back.
And okay.
I thought it was every year you pay $110.
If you get a Supra that looks like this and you pay for it, that's your Supra.
Oh.
That's on your phone, you pay every year. And I believe that's $250.
Yeah, the e-key is like $225.
Okay, got it.
And you can use that Supra key, the lockbox, you can use it in any county?
Well, you have to belong to the different MLSs in order to use it. So if I want to do Monmouth, then I have to belong to the Monmouth MLS. Or if I want to do Garden State, say Elizabeth, and it's on a Garden State Supra, then I have to belong to Garden State MLS in order to get access to their Supra.
But
so once
for
you belong
example,
to the MLS, it's free access, but you have to be on a MLS. And then
so for example, if I belong to Hudson and Monmouth County, can I buy one box and use it in both counties or no?
Oh, can you buy a box from Hudson and use it? No. You have to have a Hudson lockbox and a Monmouth County lockbox.
So I have to buy 2 boxes.
Correct.
So I have to buy as many boxes as many counties I work in.
If you're going to
MLS, sorry, MLS.
If you're going to put it on the Hudson, New Jersey, the Monmouth, then yeah, you should have the Hudson, the MLS, and the Monmouth. But that's a lot of boxes and that's a lot of money. So you wouldn't want to put it on a Hudson if you're out in Monmouth. You want to definitely put it on a Monmouth and perhaps the Garden State.
So does that mean she would need also another an e-lock software service subscription?
No, our Supra for our phone can handle multiple MLSs. So I can have access to Central because I pay into Central, New Jersey, Garden State, and Hudson. So I have 4 MLSs that I'm connected to through my phone. However, this is a Garden State lockbox, not a Hudson lockbox. So if I have a property in East Orange, it has a Garden State lockbox on it. If I wouldn't put a Hudson lockbox over there because most of the people in that area is Garden State.
Change the time to 7 p.m.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it doesn't cost you any more to have the e-lock service.
No. You join the board, and part of joining the board, you have the Super service. But you're not going to get that Super service if you're not part of that board. Not the board, that MLS. Because your board is Liberty. Just the MLS you have to join. And we have a few MLS systems that y'all can join if y'all doing work outside of Hudson County. All right, so let me just show you real quick how to schedule an appointment. showings, make a new request, type in the address that you want to go see. And you can do this all from the MLS, or you can do it from showing time. Select if you're showing your own listing, so I would select myself. I want to do schedule a single showing. Tomorrow is Thursday. I told this gentleman I can show him tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So by 1:30, I should be finished. If you want to put the tenant order by your name, you can. You're not required to. You request the appointment, it's going to give you a confirmation right away based on the information. So if it has a tenant and it has to be confirmed, then you might get a notice sometime tonight or tomorrow. If it's a go and show because it's vacant, then you get instant information about the showing, and that will complete that part of getting your listing for your tenant to show. Now, we don't do a lot with paper, but right now because of COVID, but before you would go to your MLS and you would print the MLS sheet for that client so that they have the information in front of them. If you physically going, I would take a whole application with me. This way, some people don't have access to printers, so that whole application email that I sent over earlier. And this is the search. I'm just going to search over here. 134 Hunting. And if you feel comfortable with paper, by all means, take paper with you. Active rental, you want to print plus, and you want to print the agent copy for yourself, and you want to put the customer copy with the address for your tenant. And if you don't want to print, because we don't deal with paper a lot, you would just send that. You can share it via text. Somebody give me one of their cell phone numbers. It has to be a contact. You have to be one of your contacts already. Let me just put myself in. And you hit save, send a message, and then you will see on my phone, showing came through. That's showing time will show that the showing came through. But you will also see as a client, Paragon also came through. You can click on the link for the Paragon. This way now the tenant, when you're at the property, has the listing themselves. So now we're not worrying about paper. So they're seeing the same thing from their cell phone. And if they click on it, they'll see all the details that will come up about the property. So that's an easy way for us to deal with our tenants, get them the properties that they're going to see via text. We can be paperless, and we can go about showing our properties the way we need. Yes, am I?
So that's what I was trying to do, because I don't have the lockbox just yet, but I could still set up. Or do you think I should wait until I get the lockbox to set up the showing time on the thingy, or should I set it up right now anyway? Because there's a couple people asking to see, but I just end up texting them and then scheduling it through there because I didn't have a lockbox yet.
Are you showing them how do you have it where they can get access? That's the most important thing with showing time. You know, giving them access instructions. So is there a homeowner there that could show them, or can you?
Yeah, not only that, but me too as well. Yeah, like I would be the one there.
All right. So if you're going to be the one there, then you don't want to be all over the place unless you live in a building. You want to set certain times so you can say, I'm available to show, and you can put this in your MLS instructions. Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. This way, if you know you're stationary at your place, that you can get to that property between 5 and 7 or 5 and 6, whatever time you schedule, so that you don't have an agent wanting to show you at 3 in the afternoon, then another agent show you 5, and then another agent want to show you 8. No,
Okay.
I got to come between 5 and 6.
All right. But how do you actually, because I went on the actual showing time login thing, and it doesn't like let me give the ability to do showings. Like I think I would have to set that up through the MLS, right? Like through the listing thing.
To set it up, you just go
Yeah.
down here where it says listing notes. You see on my screen, you say listing the complete showing instructions,
Yeah.
and you click on it, and you click on your property, and it's going to bring you to this page.
And then that allows other people to
So
list
this
it.
allows you to set up how you want it to be shown. I'll do this one again. It's going to be a go and show because it's vacant. So it's courtesy go and show. I only want an email that somebody is showing. Lead time is 0 because it's vacant, so I don't care when you go. You should only need an hour to show a house. Again, combination, don't do what I do, guys, because you will get a fine. Combination for this tenant, for this unit is, and if anybody want to do this open house, it's in Carteret, so.
Hey, Karen, maybe you should do it the way Ahmed needs it done so that he understands how to set it up on his showing time account.
This is how you do it. He would just need to go to Supra. Whichever, if you got a code, a combination, if it's a, the door itself sometimes have codes, you would just do whatever it is.
Or he could just select listing agent so that they can, if he's the one who's showing it with another agent, he can put listing agent, right?
Bro, this guy kept
On here,
Where it says access, yes.
seller or tenant or listing agent, he can do that. That's for access. So however the access is going to be, whether it's going to be a combination of listing agent or, guard, owner. In your case, it would be you yourself. So you would put here, listing agent or co-listing agent. And then you just hit save. And this way, when they go in on the MLS, and I'm gonna show you a different way so that you can just see it. When you're on your MLS, showing time comes up here where the documents, tax, there's a button for showing time. If you're looking at the properties, you click. If I'm searching for Yolanda to show it, I'm going to search her name. A lot of Deans, but I know it's Yolanda Dean from KW. And I'm going to hit schedule a single showing. And I'm going to put her in right behind me. And request appointment. She's going to get a confirmation right away. So the agent that's looking at the MLS is going to, if you go on your MLS, you can change your listing to your notes. $134 Hunting Street. And you're just pretty much say in the remarks with broker, listing agent LA must be present and show Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. only by appointment. please text, and then you can put your information. Or you could say, please put in showing time. And then if they put in showing time, when they put in showing time, you're going to get an email from showing time. Access details. I don't want the details. You see how this says confirmed? I just put in Yolanda thing going Thursday, 1:30 to 2. You're going to get that email, Ahmad. So therefore, you know you have to be there 1:30 to 2, or based on the time that you put in your instructions on Paraguay. Is that clear for you?
Yes, I just set one up right now. So now that means when they go onto the listing, right, and they click that little thing that says like showing time, that like then they'll be able to do it through there, and then it comes to me, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So they can go through here, they can go through the actual system, they can go through their phone. Same with you. If you're scheduling, you out on the run, you can download the Showing Time app on your phone.
Okay, I'm gonna try it out.
Let's see. Showing Time app. And you can do everything that I just did on the computer from your phone. So everybody should go and download the app so that, you know, if you want to go, it's easy for you to set appointments. Now, I know Yolanda didn't set an appointment, so I can go and cancel that appointment also from my showing time. The red button say cancel. So I'm just going to hit cancel, and now the appointment got canceled.
I have a question. Where it says allow scheduling overlaps, if it says tell showing agent ahead of time, would I be the showing agent, or would like their agent be the showing agent?
The person representing the buyer is the showing agent. So the one that's going out and showing. You are the listing agent.
So should I put it as that?
Unless you get a tenant, then you become the showing agent.
Okay. So what do you think I should put for the allow scheduling overlaps? Because the default says no, exclusive appointments only.
Well, with COVID, we want to be careful with too many people together.
Mm-hmm.
So just do 15-minute increments. And that means you could get 4 people in an hour time. And for a rental, I doubt if you got 4 people wanting to see the same rental.
How do you do increments? Like in between the thing?
That's on showing time itself, on the showing time system itself. So remember where I went and had 1 hour?
Yeah.
You can drop it down from 1 hour to 30 minutes to 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Thank you.
You found it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good.
All right, and now since for this property I don't have the lock, I'm gonna like email Giancarlos to see when I can buy one, but as of right now I don't have one. So where it says
email him that you need one and he can tell you to pick it up.
Oh, I can do that?
I'm here until about 6 o'clock, so if you email him now and come down and get one, you have it today.
Okay.
If not, it'll be there for you for tomorrow.
I can try to do that. I'll do that actually. Let me see if I can.
More questions, or are we good?
Yeah, it was really good to see you walk through showing time. I haven't seen it before, but I've used it before, but I haven't seen it get set up. So thank you.
No problem. So I think we're good. If anybody want open houses, Chris Pacheco have a few, like I said. I have one in Carteret. I have one on Highland. If you want to advertise my rentals, I give you permission as a listing agent to advertise my listings. If you want to advertise another agent listings, you have to get that agent's permission to advertise their listings. But you feel free to try to play around and see if you can get a tenant this weekend or a buyer. Yes, Amai?
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, can you send me the one listing that you have that's paid by the landlord?
134 Hunting Street, yes.
Yeah, let me write that down. So see if
Karen, I have a question. So we talked about the multiple MLSs that our office is affiliated with. So I'm down in Ocean, Monmouth County for, a few months hiding from COVID. Do we ever do listings down here? Does anybody ever, like, there's so many open houses up in Jersey City. Do we ever hear from anybody down here that needs assistance with any open houses, or you've never heard that?
Never really heard. Yet, don't know.
Yeah.
You have to probably network, go on our KW internal private group, see if anybody have any listings in that area that need coverage. I mean, the furthest that I have is Carteret, so I don't think that's close enough for you.
Okay. I mean, I'm back and forth, but I was just wondering. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Jen. I'm here too, so maybe we can chat. Where are you?
Oh, you are? Forked River and Tom's River.
Oh my God, I'm in Manahawkin.
Oh, you are? That's funny. All right. Let me scribble your name down. That's so funny. Okay.
Christina.
All right, guys. I think I kept y'all long, but I could stay all day, but
No, it's good. It's good.
I don't mind.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, it's so great. Our own tutor.
Thank you, Karen.
Let's go make some money, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.